There you made a really good point, and it made me think of two things. So the first thing that you made was how we need to kind of find some sort of middle ground when it comes to being a man. And the way at least I perceive that is that, it's good to be, hard, of course, in certain situations where it's needed, but you also need to have that other side where like you can have emotions and be in tune with that to be able to connect with the people that you care about. And so the way I look at it is kind of like this, at least from what I've seen from the older men that have been in my life that have been like boomers and all that. It seems like a lot of them are really in tune with that hard side, with
Yeah.
like I guess the external stuff of like what a man is supposed to be, and they're good at that
Yes.
when it comes to having the work ethic, getting stuff done when you don't want to do it, having fortitude, being a support to other people, and all that,
Mhm.
taking care of your responsibilities. It seems like they're really, really great at that. But I think
Yeah.
the part where they were lacking was the other end of the spectrum that you're talking about. And like you said, I think there are more men that are starting to get kind of in tune with that. And I think the
Yeah.
the healthiest men, the men that provide the most for their family, are the ones that can access both sides. And then
Mhm.
something else you mentioned about the apathy and how like men are like kind of portrayed as buffoons and all that in the media and things. I think one issue that kind of speaks to, that's definitely become a lot more common now with like the common man, that maybe our grandfathers and all that didn't have as much of a struggle with, is really what it signals to me is the lack of purpose. Because if you look at
Yeah.
all the men, I guess that came before us, there was something that went on in their time, or like some type of role that was pushed on them that they thought that they needed to take, that gave them a sense of purpose, so that way you didn't have that same type of apathy, I guess, like what you would see, as it's gotten later in time, from maybe, I don't know, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and now. But like anybody that was like born in like the 20s or 30s or whatever, their purpose was to fight in the war, and then to be breadwinner for the family. Next
Mhm.
generation, they had a war. After that, provide for your family. You're the breadwinner. And so having that main thing to focus on, and being a community figure too, which is something that was important to a lot of men, being somebody that was respected among their peers. That was like
Mhm.
that driving purpose for them. But I guess with a lot of men now, and due to the fact that that same pressure isn't on them to go and, like, let's say, serve in combat, because of course it's completely voluntary now. You don't have
Yeah.
that same drive to necessarily be the breadwinner, because women, it's completely normal for women to work now, unlike in the 60s and 40s and all that. And so you don't have, it's there if you want it, but there's no outside pressure, or I'll say not as much outside pressure that's pushing you into taking that purpose. That's at least what I've kind of gathered from it, and what the issue seems to be.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. And that's something that I feel like a lot of men are lacking is purpose. Number one, I think purpose and mission can be easily confused. And some people may make a good case against, well, mission and purpose are the same.
Hmm.
So my thoughts are there that our purpose in life is, first of all, everyone has to figure out what that is for themselves. And there is a process. There is a process that you can go through that will really kind of help us dial in on that. Okay. But at the end of the day, I believe that the most noble purpose and the most fulfilling purpose will, without a doubt, be attached to edifying and uplifting other people in this world in some shape, form, or fashion. That is my core belief is that all of our purposes are probably going to be pretty much the same for the most part. Um, they're going to be attached in some way and connected to edifying and uplifting and serving other people in a manner that helps people in this life. And then our mission is actually where we start to really diverge into different paths because there's so many different ways that we can embark on our mission in order to fulfill our purpose, right? So for me, I believe without a doubt that my purpose in this life is to edify and uplift and speak life into those around me. to use my experiences to help others avoid the same pain that I went through, or to help drag them out of the pain that they're currently in that I had been through, and I know how to help them out of it. And so help them avoid it or help drag them out of it, one or the other. And in doing so, that is giving life. And more specifically, my mission is to do that with men. And the way that I do that with men is through my organization, True North Man, where we host our events and I do my coaching and my podcast. And so my purpose is to edify and uplift men, all right, to speak life into men. And then I do that through my mission, which is my organization, True North Man.